Hello everyone, welcome back to another lessons learned video. Today we're going to discuss the visual pathway and possible lesions and what deficits they cause. So if we imagine that a person has two eyes and that they have an optic nerve coming out of the eye. Now, the eye, let's say this is your eye and you're looking forward, right? There's going to be two sides to your retina. So the retina is really the back region of this eye. So all of this is retina. The medial side of the retina, or the nasal side of the retina, so if your nose is right here, the nasal side will be like this. This nasal side is going to have part of the optic nerve is going to go out. It's going to cross the midline and go like this. That's called the nasal retinal fiber. And then, so that's going to be receiving information from the nasal side of the retina. So all of this region of the retina is sending its signals through this part of the nerve. So let's make that, let's say, like that. So all of this side of the retina is sending information there. And we're going to have our ear on the outside. So that's going to be the temporal side of the retina. This is the temporal region of the retina. And it's going to send a fiber out that's going to go in and then go out. So notice I'm going to draw this on the other ear as well. Or on the other eye, not the other ear. Excuse me. So I'm doing the violet color is going to be the nasal retina again, and it's going to go in and cross. And this is going to go in and then go out. And there's going to be another ear here, obviously. Now, these two fibers here are going to be collectively known as the optic nerve. And the same thing on the other side as well. This is the optic nerve on the left side. Where the two nasal retinal fibers meet, that's going to be called the optic chiasm. And that's this point right here. Past the optic chiasm, these fibers, these are going to be called, and these fibers and also these fibers, those are going to be called the optic tracts. So we have a left optic tract and a right optic tract. And let me make the optic tract a little shorter. Maybe not that short, but maybe I want to make them like this. These are going to innervate a certain nucleus, or nucleus basically is a group of neuron cell bodies within the within the thalamus. That's called the lateral geniculate nucleus. So we have a left lateral geniculate nucleus and a right lateral geniculate nucleus. It's usually referred to as LGN. And then these are going to send projections to the primary visual cortex. Primary visual cortex is often referred to as V1. And once it hits V1 in the occipital lobe, we're going to have conscious perception of the vision. So until the information hits this region, we're not going to be able to perceive seeing anything. All right. And the projections from the LGN to the primary visual cortex are going to be called the optic radiations. Now let's look at how your visual field is going to be implicated here. If we have an object that is to your right, so this is going to be in your right visual field because it's to your right side. the light from this object is going to come in and hit the nasal side of your right eye, but it's going to hit the temporal side of your left eye. So the information is going to travel through this fiber, and then it's going to travel through this fiber. And it's going to hit your left LGN. So notice how the object is on your right visual field, but it's hitting your left LGN, and later it's going to go to the left side of your primary visual cortex. So things that are on your right visual field are going to be on the left side of the brain, left hemisphere of the brain. And so we can look at a case where that's the opposite. So let's erase this and look at a point, let's say an object that is on your left side. The light from it is going to hit the nasal side of your left eye and the temporal side of your right eye. So the information can travel through this fiber, and it's going to be on this side of the retina, so it's going to travel through this fiber and hit the right LGN, right? But it's actually part of your left visual field. So again, the left side of the visual field is in the right hemisphere, and the left side of the visual field is in the right hemisphere. Right side of the visual field is in the left hemisphere. So now, if we have lesions of this system, let's explain what can happen. Let's say someone damages their optic nerve. So say you get a lesion here, and it's damaged. So they're not going to be able to see in this entire eye. This eye is just going to be blind. So this eye, you're not going to be able to see anything in it. If you do the same thing to the other optic nerve, you get the same thing. You're going to get blind in one eye. Now, what if you damage the optic chiasm? What would happen then? If we damage the optic chiasm, what would happen is that you cannot see anything with the medial sides of your retina. So anything that you would be able to see with these cells are gone, and anything you'd be able to see with these cells are gone. So anything that is like to your periphery, so anything that is here, or anything that is here, that's going to be hitting that side of the retina, you're not going to see. So because those are on your periphery, those are on your left and right sides, your peripheral vision will be gone, even though the center of your vision, so if something is here, it's very easily going to be able to hit the lateral sides of the retina, the temporal sides, but it's not going to be able to hit the nasal side of the retina and be seen. The things that are going to be hitting the nasal side of your retina are going to be in your periphery. So your peripheral vision is lost. And because of that, we're going to basically highlight the left side, the lateral side of the retina. And that's to represent the fact that basically your peripheral vision is gone. So something that is here, you can't see, right? So this would result in something like tunnel vision. Now, if one of the optic tracts are going to be lesions, so let's say we damage the right optic tract, we're not going to be able to see anything that is sensed by these cells. So these cells over here, and these cells over here are going to be perceiving something that is on your left visual field. So the left visual field of the right eye is going to be gone. So right eye and the left visual field is going to be gone. But also we're going to be damaging fibers that are originating from these cells. So these cells in the retina are seeing anything that is on your left visual field again, of your left eye this time. So we're going to highlight the left side of the left eye. So here you can see that the left side of the left eye and the left side of the, well, left eye of the right eye and the left of the left side, right? That would be the right visual field. So if we damage an optic tract, we're going to get a lesion in the contralateral. Well, if we lesion an optic tract, we're going to see deficit in the contralateral visual field. If we damage an optic nerve, we're going to get blindness in the ipsilateral eye. And if we damage the optic chiasm is going to give us essentially peripheral vision deficit. So I hope that explained how these lesions work and also how the visual system works. Again, there's a lot of details. You might get lesions of these certain parts of the fibers coming out of the LGN and the optic radiations. Those are more advanced. But for the basics, this is basically what you need to know.